So Netivot Shalom, על התורה, Sefer ויקרא. We have two Parashat again, right? We had זה מצורע, and now we have אחרי and קדושים. So, את משפטי תעשו ואת חוקותי תשמורו. So it's talking about מעשה ארץ מצרים אשר ישבתם בה לא תעשו, ומעשה ארץ כנען אשר אני מביא אתכם שמה לא תעשו. Right? So the Torah is telling us, warning us, Hashem is warning us. The deeds of the land of Egypt where you were dwelled there, you shouldn't do. And also the deeds or the action of Eretz Canaan, the land of Canaan, that I'm going to bring you there, you shouldn't do. What's going on? So את משפטי תעשו, ואת חוקותי תשמורו ללכת בהם, אני השם אלוקיכם. You should do my laws and my rules. ושמרתם את חוקותי, right? And you should watch and keep them. את חוקותי משפטי, אשר יעשה אותם האדם, that the person that will keep my rule and my laws will live with them, I am Hashem. So the Mefarshim, they ask a question, why it says twice? משפטי תעשו ואת חוקותי תשמרו, ושמרתם את חוקותי ואת משפטי. And also another question about why they changed the order. In the first verse, they said משפטים, and then חוקות. And then the second one, חוקות first, and then משפטים after. Also, what's this warning? ושמרתם את חוקותי ואת משפטי, אשר יעשה אותם אדם, that you will watch to keep my laws and rules, and you should live with them. He said it's like a general warning about keeping the mitzvot. But the parasha is actually dealing with a riot. And also in Avodah Zarah, because there was again a warning that we shouldn't give our children to the Molech, which was like an Avodah Zarah. Some say it was like throwing the kids into fire, and some said you just put them above the fire and you just pass them, but you don't kill them. I'm not sure. Vainyan, and said, as it says in the holy books, that the klipa of Mitzrayim, the shell of Egypt, was the ervatar, it was the immorality thing of the land. They were washed with zima, he said here, prostitution, etc. But also there was avodah zarah, but that was not the main thing. And the shell, the klipa of Eretz Canaan, the land of Israel, was avodah zarah. That was the main thing, idols. As it said, that there was no mountain or hill that they didn't worship over there, avodah zarah. But also they have the immorality thing, but that was not the main thing. Which means in these two places, there was immorality and avodah zarah, idols, but each one have a division. One had more emphasizing on one or the other. Because these two things are actually depending on each other, and they're like withdrawing each other. And Mitzrayim, the Yesod, the foundation was Shtufei Zima, desires, and from that they had the Avodah Zarah. It was withdrawn from that. And in Eretz Canaan, it was the opposite. It's mainly Avodah Zarah, but then the immorality thing. Veine, and here, the shell of Egypt, right? The negative things, or the klipa, what we said, the shell, the peel. The main peel of Egypt was the zima, which is from the thing that the person nefesh desired, right? The nefesh is not the soul, it's the lower part or the spiritual part of a person. And usually that lower part, which is equal to the animal, have the desire for that. And that's like a part of the character of that person. But Avodah Zarah, idols, was the main peel, the klipa of Canaan. And that was like a chok, it was like a rule. That's it. It's like was I said part of the DNA. So the same way in the Gedusha, in the holiness, there are rules with no reason, or you think you don't understand the reason. Same thing in the Tuma, the opposite from pure, right? The impurity things. There are rules that you don't understand the reason. And all the other matters of Avodah Zarah, worshipping trees, woods, stone, ubal peor, right? There were all type of Avodah Zarah, different type of. And also from Zarecha, from your children, from your descendant, you shouldn't give to the Molech, to the fire. They're all rules that we don't have understanding about it. according to the human brain. But this is the power of the Avodah Zarah. For example, I know it sounds disgusting, but just to make us to understand. What is Baal Peor? Baal Peor was a type of Avodah Zarah that person used to do number 2 on it. This is how they're worshipping their God. It's disgusting, but this is how it is. It was. The Gemara is explaining about it. That's why it's called Peor. And that's the power of the Sitra Achar, which you don't understand. So this is the rule, and that's it. Why? Because so he said, yeah. So according to that, we should say that the psukim, when it says that mishpatai tasu, you should keep my my laws and rules, it says prior to this parasha. So these two things, avodah zarah and arayot, these are the most difficult blemishes, and the Torah is teaching us that Hashem created a cure, an antidote for all the diseases and the blemishes and all the severe blemishes for that. And this is the explanation of et mishpatai ta'asu v'et chokotai tishmeru, that you should keep my laws and the rule. So the same Rashi explained, the mishpatim, what are the mishpatim, the laws? They are the thing that שבשכל מבינים שכך צריך לעשות, ואפילו אם לא נאמרו בתורה, היו יודעים אותם. So these are the most obvious things. You should not take something that doesn't belong to you. You should not treat your parents not nice. You should be nice to your friend, right? Don't steal, don't kill. You don't need the Torah to understand that these are things are not good. And what are chukot? What are the rule? Something that we don't have understanding or grasp according to our brain. But this is like the king decreed. That's it. He decided that this is the rule, and that's it. No reason, no explanation. You just need to keep it, even if it doesn't make sense to you. And this is the verse, Mishpatai ta'asu v'et chukotai tishmoru. So you should do my laws, and rule you should keep or watch. And when he said first mishpatim to chukot, it's for the klipa, the shell, the peel of Egypt, which their root was the thing that the desires, the lowest desires that we want. And this is something which is understandable in the brain. You see a nice woman, okay. And for that Hashem gave the cure and the antidote, that you should keep my laws. And after that it says my rule. For that's the rule is for the klipa, for the shell of avodah zarah, which you really don't understand how a human being that have brain in his head worshipping a stone or doing something that he built by himself. How can he be your God if you build it? Right? The famous classic story about Avraham Avinu. And the second verse, when it says first the chukotai, which is the rule, and then the mishpatim, this is for the Eretz Knan. That was the shell of Eretz Knan, because they did idol worshipping first. So therefore, the verses said, you have to keep my rules. You don't understand why? Just do it. Because that was the main klipa, which was idol. And then the zima. And therefore, Hashem commanded us before we left Egypt for the blood of Pesach and the blood of the Milah, which he says in Yechezkel, Ve'evor alayich, when we said that in Brit Milah, right? Ve'evor alayich ve'ech mitboseset bedamayich, ve'omalach bedamayich chai bedamayich chai. It's two bloods, the Pesach and the Milah. So the Dam of Pesach, when we slaughter the goat, right? Not the goat, the lamb. We slaughter the lamb. We slaughter the gods of the Egyptian, right? So that was against the inclination of Avodah Zarah. Because the Dam of Pesach, the blood of Pesach, the Passover blood, was emunah, faith in Hashem, and that Hashem is created the world and is watching us and is choosing us, choose us. As it says, Asher pasach al betei avoten, right? That Hashem was skipping our homes while he was beating or striking the Egyptian, and he saved us. And the Dam of the Milah, the Brit Milah, the circumcision, is against the Yetzer Arayot, right? The immorality thing, the zima. They say, and that's why Hashem commanded us before we left Egypt that we should really watch ourselves in these two things, idols, immorality thing. Because what we did in Egypt, yes, and we did Avodah Zarah in Egypt, but that was not in our core. So Hashem warned us to stop that and not to do the thing that they're doing in Knan, which the main thing is immorality thing. And this is what it says, Ve'avur alaich, and that like I pass on you, right? This is like Pesach. Ve'avur alaich ve'rech mitbosses b'dmach, and I will see you like crawling or soaked in the blood. Because we cannot understand or we cannot achieve, how you said, protection or get away from these things, from idols. Baruch Hashem, today we don't have that thing, but the other thing we do have. But at the time, the Avodah Zarah was something tangible. It was not like a funny thing like we think about it today. They had it in their desires. Our sages nullify that, but until then, that was very, very difficult. So he said, so that's why Hashem commanded us. And because these two things, you have to have a Mesirut Nefesh to stop and not to do these things. And it said that you will live with your blood, you will live with your blood, right? So it says in the end of the verse, ושמרתם את חוקותיי ומשפטיי, that you will keep and watch my rules and laws, that a person should do them or keep them, and he will chai b'hem, and will live with them. He said we didn't find in other places in the Torah such kind of an ending that a person will do and he will live with them. Because he said, what's the cause for a person that he will lose his vitality, his chayut, in the Torah and Avodah and Shabbatot, right? Like he's like an autopilot, he's like a robot. He doesn't feel anything in the Kedusha, only because of these two blemishes. So maybe it's not idol worshipping as they used to have, but we have credit cards today, and we have social media and other things that we can treat them as Avodah Zarah, as idols, right? Especially like there's a TV show, I think, called American Idol, right? So you see, right? Something like that. And the second thing is desire for immorality thing, which is we should not. And when someone have that things inside him, he will lose the connection to the Torah connection. He will not feel thing. He will be like on a, like an object keeping Shabbos. But if we keep the laws and the rule, even if we don't understand, if you take this antidote and this cure for these two blemishes, v'chai, then chai b'hem, then we will live with them, right? And he says, and that's the source of the vitality. As it says in other places, shekol mitzvot, that all the mitzvot, belo dechilu uchimu, without loving and fearing Hashem, they are like a body with no soul. We can do the technical thing, we can mumble the tefillah, but if we don't really feel that we're speaking to Hashem directly, right? Because if we're looking at the tefillah, it says, Baruch Ata, I'm blessing you, Hashem. You are blessed one, directly, not a third party. So somebody that doesn't feel that is like a body with no soul, because we need to have love and fear, which is the vitality of all the mitzvot. And therefore, prior to the Parashat Arayot in Avodah Zarah, we have these verses, the psukim, that Hashem is warning us to keep the Torah, the mitzvot, and basically the rules and the laws, even if we don't understand. And this is coming before the parasha. Achre mot, basically, we're reading it, the mincha of Yom Kippur. And this is like it's a really big question. The most holy day that usually around mincha, most, I think, don't have this desire to eat. You're more into davening and everything. And we're very holy. We were davening the whole day. We're doing slichot. And then suddenly, what's the parasha that we are reading? Instead of reading a parasha about Har Sinai and the revelation and holiness and everything, we're starting with, you should not go with your mother's sister. You should not go with the woman and her sister, the wife and this and that. What? This is crazy. But this is what our Chazal and Sages and the Torah is warning us, because after all, we're human. We have evil inclination, and we have these two severe inclination or desires, and that's why in the most holy day, Hashem is warning us. So by keeping the laws and the rules, we will have a chance to stand and not to fail. Thank you for listening. Shkoyach.